Happy Halloween, guys! I wanted to make this video before things got really crazy. Tonight's Halloween, and then tomorrow is my Halloween party, and then Saturday's gonna be mostly cleanup. And I don't think I'm gonna be able to have time to make a video for the next couple of days, and I just finished this book last night, and I need to get it out of my system before I can move on to the next one. The Great Little Madison by Jean Fritz. It's nonfiction, and it is like a biography on James Madison. I do have to say that some of the information was a little bit biased, obviously, towards Madison and the other, people that he was working with and that he was friends with. There are a few snide comments that the author makes towards Madison's wife and her son, because she never punished him and she just let him do whatever he wanted. The author used little anecdotes and stories to really bring out the personality of the delegates and James Madison, and they were really nice. It gave more humanistic qualities to these people that we see as, just these old dead guys. We don't really think about their personality, we just think about what they gave to the United States during the making of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. It reminds me of this TV show I used to watch when I was little called Liberty's Kids, and it used to tell just little stories about specific historical moments to try and teach kids about them, and that was really nice because it gave personality to each of the characters, and they added people in, obviously, because there weren't three little kids running around with Benjamin Franklin and George Washington. I used this book when I was maybe in high school, maybe middle school, maybe both, to do a project on James Madison. I might have done a couple more projects. I'm not entirely sure, but I did use this book a couple of times, and I never actually read it. I just used it for the information about his early life or his married life, and this book really brings that to light. One of the things that I found interesting was that even though James Madison tried to study law, he had no interest in it, but he loved politics, and he was very much so involved in politics, and they usually go hand in hand, so it's a little confusing as to why he made such a distinction and hated law and yet ended up making the most important laws that the United States currently runs under. The author makes the young Madison and the parts of his early life really relatable. Connects Madison's life with a lot of scholars and college students who don't understand why they're in school, and they don't really know where they're going with their lives. Madison was trying to get through school pretty quickly, and he only slept for 5 hours a night. And he took on, like a really heavy school load, trying to get everything done as quickly as possible, and he and his friend were, really unhealthy for a couple of years. And as a college student, I completely understand that. For instance, right now I'm running on 4 hours of sleep, and I'm gonna be awake all day long. At the end of the book, there's this little section that has just bullet points and explanations with page numbers on it that, relate to the book. And it gives a little bit more information and explains some of the cultural differences from, way back then to now. And it's really nice because some of the stuff that, I didn't know, it clarified a lot of the confusing stuff for me as a reader, especially, younger kids that might be using this for a project. It was really helpful to have that historical background. All in all, I give this book 4.5 stars for general information. I wouldn't give it 5 out of 5 because there was a little bit of biased information in there, and I don't know quite how accurate it would be. I'd have to read more information. I wouldn't say that I'd read it for pleasure, but it was definitely useful, and I used it a lot in high school trying to do all these projects about presidents. So I'm currently reading 2 books. it's a little confusing how I do it. So I don't think I'm going to be finished with the Hiring the Next Steve Jobs book until, I don't know, it'll be a while. And I think it's going to be after I finish reading Zen Scarlet by Schoon. He was in my book haul, and I still don't know how to pronounce his name. So hopefully I'll get at least one of those books read by Friday the 7th or the 8th. Phone. And I'll be able to make another video. However, if I don't finish those books by then I'll just have to make a video probably about Cinder or the vampire book that I read before. But you can find those on Hubpages if you don't want to wait for me to make a video about it. So I'll put the link for that down below. Any suggestions for books, any recommendations. I have 2 Thanksgiving books that I'm going to be reading next month, but if you have any suggestions for Thanksgiving books before then, I would love to hear about them. However, I might have to get them from the library, so I don't know. I might have to keep them until next year. Have a great Halloween. I'll talk to you next week.